you look at people's eyes before they come to yoga, which especially if it's a morning class, there's a fogginess, there's a little bit of a disconnect, there's a little bit of a lackluster in their, a little bit groggy, a little bit grumpy. But then they get on their mat, they do their practice, those contradictions rub up against each other and create the friction. And then if you look at their eyes after the practice, it's like something was turned on, something was lit up. And of course in yoga we believe in that notion of an inner light, so you can go that route if that gives you solace that it is, a light that we basically, before you come to yoga, your light has been dimmed, you do your practice and someone basically just ups the dimmer switch. I think that we are just playing with this notion of how much light we can have inside us, and I think yoga really helps us have more light and better quality light. And my favorite relation to light in relation to yoga is this little quote that says, "How is it that angels can fly? Because they take themselves lightly." So we think of light, I think, as always having to be like a light bulb or a lighting of a space, but there's also this notion of lightness, which is a little different, which means not being heavy, which means maybe not being so intense, being a little more loose, So it's not just about light, it's about lightness. So I like that notion. And there's no doubt, if you've practiced yoga, when you start, you are heavy. No one will argue that. And I'm not talking about the weight on the scale. You physically just feel heavy. But by the end, you physically feel light. You feel like your feet aren't hitting the ground as hard. You feel like your head's closer to the clouds. There's just lightness there.